If you saw my video on the Alfa Romeo Stelvio Quadrifoglio, you know short-go problems are a real thing. But I think I found the perfect vehicle for me and maybe for you too, because this, even though it's small, fits a wide variety of people. So what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to show you some of the cool and clever features, some of the things that make this great for a wide range of drivers, and I'm going to tell you one thing that I kind of don't understand. So, Mini Cooper owners, stay to the end because I want your feedback and I want you to tell me the point of this feature. All right, my name is Jill Ciminillo, and this week's car du jour is the 2024 Mini Cooper Clubman. Now, because a lot of what is great about the Mini Cooper Clubman centers on this area here, we're just going to start at the back. And first off, I'm going to point out this has the John Cooper Works package, which means it has a 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Delivers 301 horsepower. So this is a more powerful engine than you would see in the regular Clubman, and it's a lot of fun. I'm just gonna put that out there. This also has all-wheel drive, so there is no badging on the back, but you can see it on the side of the vehicle. But this right here, this split barn door, is, I think, one of the coolest features about this. Now, I will say this right here does create a little bit of a blind spot. It does. But what's really cool is you've got these barn doors that open out, which makes it really easy to load stuff in. And you have this cargo cover back here, so if you were putting luggage or storing some things in here, you could hide the stuff back there. And living in a city, I definitely appreciate that. I don't need everybody to see my business. But what's really great back here is you have a decent amount of cargo space. So I'm about 5 feet tall, and I weigh about 95 pounds. So again, decent amount of cargo space. You may not fit a pair of golf clubs back here, a set of golf clubs, unless you put these rear seats down. But I don't know, maybe tilt it, take the driver out. That might be a little bit tough. But overall, I think this has good space. And then you've got like some little cubbies here with some netting to hold things. And you've got cubbies here in the door as well. So lots of good places to put things in addition to the storage. So I love the barn doors. You do have to make sure you close that door and then this door. But I think that overall having the doors open out to the side makes it a little bit easier to open. And I'm going to always appreciate something that makes my life easier. You also have these double wipers back here, so if it's raining, you'll get really good visibility out of both sides of the window. So let's go inside and see what else is going on. So as we are going around the side of the vehicle, I do want to point out this has 2 full doors. So once upon a time, the Mini Cooper Clubman came with like a little mini door in the rear, but that is no longer the case. This has 2 full doors so that it makes it easier to get into the back seat. Now, obviously, this is the kind of space that you're going to have behind my driving position, but that's going to be probably the more likely scenario of space behind a driver or passenger with the seat in the further back position and tilted a little bit. You do have air vents back here as well as USB-C ports. So they actually mean to put people back here. And I'll point it up, you do have a little dual sunroof here. So the rear seat passengers can actually control this themselves, which is nice. So, you know, it's not voluminous space back here, but you do have a lot of space in the back if you needed to carry passengers occasionally. I think that this is good. So really, I think this, with the cargo space in the back and the barn doors, this is kind of a nice hybrid between a car and an SUV. So it's a hatchback without the hatchback. Probably a little bit bigger than my Golf GTI, but still really nice size with some decent rear legroom. And again, as I pointed out, you now have the full-size rear door rather than just like a little mini door. Here you have your all-4 badging, and I really like all-wheel drive on any vehicle because it makes it much more doable for multiple kinds of climates, whether you're going to be in a warm climate or you are in a climate with snow, rain, ice, sleet, all those things. It just makes it more of a year-round vehicle than just, you know, a cute little urban commuter. So, all right, let's dig into the interior. Now, the first thing I want to point out before I step inside is I had commented that this is great for both tall and small drivers, and there's a couple things going on here that I want to point out. So first off, you have your memory settings. So if you have two different size drivers who are owning this car, sharing this car, you can definitely set that for the tall and the small side of things so that it's not a pain in the tush to get behind the wheel after I've driven. Because yeah, this is my driving position. Now, the other thing that's going on that I really appreciate is the fact that this has the adjustable thigh bolster. So somebody who is on the taller side of the spectrum can open this up and get better thigh support for their legs. But when you have somebody who is on the smaller side of the spectrum, you can click that in, and when I get in, I don't feel like I'm hanging over the edge. This hits me perfectly right behind my knee. You can see that, and so I have a comfortable driving position. My heel is able to set comfortably on the floor while I'm, using my toe to modulate my speed, and I don't feel like I am having to, maneuver around this pad to put my foot on the dead pedal. So all of that is just really good stuff. So the other thing that I want to point out that I really think is clever on the Mini Cooper is going to be the fact that you have these switches instead of buttons. And Mini has always done this, and I think it's really cool. And so foot on the brake, you hit this right here and it turns on your vehicle. So I don't know. There's something that is substantial about these toggle switches. So this is for your auto stop start to turn that off. You have your parking sensors there. You can turn off your stability control. You've got your drive modes over here. I will say this is a little bit of an awkward location for that, especially if you have a taller water bottle, because it blocks that a little bit, but you can still reach it. But I like, the substantiality of these toggle switches. I think that they work really well, and yeah, I like those. So then you have this 8-inch screen, and once upon a time, if you're familiar with Mini, your speedometer used to be here in your analog gauges. It was in the center, which created room for a lot of backseat drivers. But now you just have this little screen that populates that space where you can look at your mini things. So you've got your map here, you've got your fuel economy, which, yeah, not so great for me. But I've been driving in the city a lot, so there's a lot of stops and starts, and that's never good for fuel economy. I've had very little, highway mileage on this, so that creates a problem. But you can easily swipe through that. But what I really like is you have redundant controls. So if you are one of those people who doesn't like to get fingerprints all over your screen, you can reach down to this dial and just turn, through the different selections. You have your, quadrants here, which will also help you navigate to things a little bit faster. So I'm always a huge fan when they have redundant controls, because sometimes it's just easy to reach up and swipe or press, but other times it's just like your hand is already here. My hand isn't, because short girl problem, but your hand is already here if you're taller and you have your arm on the armrest, so it's just easier to, toggle through some things. So I like the redundancy of the controls. In terms of what else is going on, you have this little digital display back here, and it tells you your speed, your RPMs, that kind of stuff. And it will also, when you switch through your drive modes, it also, you get a little thing that pops up here, but it also changes what your gauge cluster looks like. So when you have sport mode, you got a little bit more red going on. So I'm like, I don't want to drive with my traction control off, so we'll just turn that back on. At any rate, so these two work together, and again, no longer having the speed here. So for your backseat drivers, they're not going to see this as well. What else do we have going on that I think is really cool? Okay, so probably one of the coolest features I think this has is going to be in here, and that is your wireless charger. And this will move to fit your phone, but I'm going to say right now that it fits my phone, and I have a Pro, but not a Pro Max. So I don't know if this will fit a Pro Max, like a bigger phone. But I love the fact that you put your phone in here, you shut this, and then you can do all of your voice controls and everything through here with Apple CarPlay or Siri, or just you're doing voice commands. So it's forcing you, and this does have wireless Apple CarPlay, so it's forcing you to get your hands off of your phone, and it kind of hides it away. And by the way, if you forget your phone in here, nobody's going to see it in here. So I appreciate that too. There is a small storage space under here. As you can see, it fits my wallet and a little pouch thing. So it fits some things in here, but you're not going to be able to fit a purse or anything big in there. But love all of this. I love the design. I love the seating surfaces. I love the space. I love the dual panes for your sunroof. I love the dual automatic climate controls. That always gets a thumbs up. You also have heated seats. And I will point out that the Mini Cooper Clubman with the John Cooper Works package is about $50,000. So it's not going to be a cheap Mini. I don't know, cheap and Mini, probably not synonyms anymore, but $50,000. But I think this is a really fun package for $50,000. Now, before I get into the thing that I don't quite understand, let's just take a quick look out the rear view mirror. So I pointed it out when we were standing behind the vehicle that you do have a little bit of a blind spot right here in the center. And I don't think it's too much of a problem because it doesn't take up a lot of space. But if you are trying to see directly behind you, there is just a little bit of a spot right there that you can't see. So you got to focus on, either side. And then, I used my side mirrors a lot, but I will point out it's an option. This does not have blind spot monitoring. So you do have to make sure you're using your mirrors to pay attention. All right, so I'm gonna turn this off so that we can talk about the feature that confuses me. And you will notice it when we start the vehicle up. So I'm gonna go like this. So this is my view. This is what I see when I am looking to drive. So I can see over the hood. I've got good visibility out the front window. I'm like, let me erase this a little bit because then you can see this right here. So this is my view. This is what I see. And when I turn on the car, wait for it. This right here. This is what I don't understand. It is a heads-up display, and I do use the air quotes there because, it doesn't project on the windshield, and I haven't found a way to height adjust the speed sign limiter, or the speed limit sign, or the speed limit, or the speed that you're going, the speedometer. And okay, so if this is my view, again, so this is my view, I see the speedometer right here really well. I see the speed sign right here really well. I don't understand the point of this. This just seems like it adds cost, it adds something that could break to something that you don't really need because, okay, so Mini owners, is this a short girl problem? Like, I don't use this because I'm so short and it's like virtually like, I don't know, I have a hard time seeing that, and this is just more visible to me. So do taller drivers use this a lot? Do you see a point for this? Because this right here is the one thing that I don't see a point for. And I've seen a flip-up head-up display in other vehicles that actually makes sense. But in this vehicle, for me, it does not make sense. So sound off below. I want your feedback. I want your comments. Does this have a point? All right, while you are commenting below about the head-up display, I'm going to give you some brief driving impressions. Overall, I think this is a really fun and functional vehicle, from the barn doors that open in the rear to the extra cargo space to the fun to drive driving dynamics. So this has the John Cooper Works package, which again means 301 horsepower for this very small vehicle, which makes this a lot of fun to drive. Now, we do need to talk about the sports suspension a little bit, because when you are driving in the city and you have a lot of pockmarked roads and speed bumps, not as fun. But when you're getting on the highway, when you're out on, clean pavement in the suburbs, lots of fun. And the acceleration, definitely heart-flipping fast to bring a little bit of a smile to your face on your daily commute or wherever it is you are driving. So I like the size of the vehicle. I like the functional aspects of the vehicle. I like the fact that you can fit some people in the back seat for a little bit of time. Maybe not tall adults, but average adults are going to fit back there just fine. And I don't know. In my mind, this is a huge win. It's maneuverable in city spaces, yet comfortable for a road trip. At this point in the review, however, I should mention the fact that if you are interested in buying a Mini Cooper Clubman, now is your time. Unless you want to buy used, because 2024 is going to be the last model year for this vehicle. The last Mini Cooper Clubman has actually already rolled off the line. So keep that in mind. But I'm sorry to see this go. I don't think it was a volume seller for Mini, so that's why it's going away. But for people who need a compact vehicle with just a little extra space in the back, this is perfect. That is what I want to say about that. So thanks for watching, and thanks for sticking with me, checking out some of the cool features on this vehicle, and thanks for commenting about the head-up display. I will see you next time with a new Car to Shore.